Good morning, YouTube. We got our early crew. Got Kentucky, Beans. You've seen Beans growing up on the channel since I kind of introduced the muscle cars to what we do here, or introduced you guys to what we do here with the muscle cars. So, picking up from the last video. In the last video, we talked about how I had broken the front end on the Corvette, and it's still broke. I'm repairing it. That whole process has completely shut down the work on the Chevelle. I should be racing and driving the Corvette right now, and instead I've got a broken front end on it, broken front clips. So we're forced into making the repairs to this. This was not going to last. This was going to break off of the car. It had come completely delaminated on that side. And there was stress cracks all over this thing anyway. There was a pretty significant one back there. We'll get into that in a second. But this thing, the Vette needed body work. But I didn't want to get into this kind of project with the Vette right now. I wanted to be racing and driving it, you know. I mean, really, I still could. I could throw the tire back on it and I got some extra headlights, and I could just get some fucking bullshit trailer lights, and I could rig up headlights and turn signals, and I could go Mad Max this thing all over town into the racetrack and just be like one of the no prep fags that races his car without the front clip on it. That's just the dumbest fucking thing ever in racing. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about my opinion of that. If you're out and you're racing without the front clip, like, it's one thing if the front clip is, you know, off being repaired, or if you got into a fender bender and had to take it off out of necessity, but if that's just how you roll, that's fucking stupid. Fucking assholes. Anyway, so we broke the shit out of the front end, and so now we're doing the bodywork repair on it. This crack, again, that one is new. This one got much worse. I was able to find the end of it and drill it out. Same thing there. That was a new crack. That was a new crack. If you guys don't know, if you have a crack, if you find the end of it and you drill it, that crack will not grow anymore. Same thing holds true with steel. A lot of guys are like, oh, the frame's cracked. I keep welding it. It keeps re-cracking. Yeah. Drill the end of the crack out. That'll keep the crack from growing, and then you can weld the crack and then put a gusset over the top of that, or an extra plating or something like that, preferably in like a diamond shape, and that will prevent that crack from coming back. But you have to drill out the ends of these cracks. Doesn't matter if it's fiberglass or steel. This crack was there. That one was pretty significant. It's on its way. This one was new, real bad. And then it's cracked. You can kind of see it down there. It's cracked there. That's about it on this. I'm still trying to decide if that's a crack, if that's made it through. I don't think that's made it through to the fiberglass. I think that was just some spider web and some chip happening in the paint. This one was bad. Let's do this and do that. When we got up into this one, it's pretty evident how bad that was. I laid a lot of fiberglass in there. That's about 3 layers of fiberglass, and I'm stuck. I'm hung up on them. What we'll do is we'll get in there, we'll gel coat the inside of that, and then this will really, you know, obviously we're going to have some work. I got to rebuild that fender lip. You can see, I can't remember. We may have done a bunch of that trimming to make tires fit on this thing. I don't remember, but so much stuff had been cut out of this thing when we back halved it, and it's had previous body work done to it, and none of the previous repairs were done very well. They really just gobbed shit in. But there you can see there's all these holes. Those are where I found the ends. This one was cracked out, and like this chunk almost came off. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna do an impromptu scuff and shoot on the Vette. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit better than a scuff and shoot. It's not gonna be. The car's gonna look a lot better. It's needed this for a long time. It's not gonna be black again, but This is a good one. This is right on the passenger side frame horn, and it almost broke that off, and this patch came out really good. So you see in here, I got some self-adhesing expanded metal backing, and my thought was I could get in there and I could, you know, abrase that side, put that in, glass that in. That'll keep. I should have put this down here, but there really wasn't much room for it. And that'll help give that some strength. But a weird thing was happening. About half of these I put them on, and then I put the resin on, and they would start to react, and it would make these curl back, and then the fiberglass wouldn't lay flat, so I had to take a bunch of it out. It's weird. It's some kind of reaction with, you know, probably the glue and the fiberglass resin that creates heat and makes those warp. But anyway, like I said, this one's about 3 layers deep, and really happy with how that one's coming out. That's going to blend back in real nice. Anyway, so that's that crack. We've still got that one to take care of. You can't see, I don't know if we can see it up there or not. No, you can't see it there. I'm going to have to take care of that one. Still have some work to do on this one. This is separated here, so we're going to have to clamp that back together. And then we will resin that and let that resin harden. And then we will get fiberglass material in here and patch all that up. And you can see that's about the ugliest repair that we did, but I think that one's 2 layers. But it's nice and strong, and you know, we'll clean up all the fuzzies. This one, you know, again, we're laying material in. I think that's 1 or 2 layers on that one. So this front end, you can see that's all broke right there. It's supposed to have all that structure on it right there. That is what holds it to the body right there. And you can see a chunk of the body broke off and is still right there. So this shit's a mess. So there's that other crack right there. We're going to take care of that one too. So as you can see, the poor old vet, let me get out of here where we can look at stuff. Thank you, Kentucky. The poor old vet has seen better days. I mean, this is a 51-year-old car now, and it's fiberglass. So it has been gone through a couple of times. Some people have done some stuff to it, done, you know, multiple resprays and stuff like that. But it's never really had the necessary body work. It's finding out now a bunch of these cracks were old repairs that they just hit a really shabby job. I wish I'd have taken some pictures of especially that was so gnarly. Well, and there was a crack. Yeah, that crack over there, I think I said that was a new crack. That was a crack that just appeared, but it turns out it was an old crack that had a repair done to it. And I'm talking about this one right here. So it was a new to me crack, meaning the body wasn't cracked there under ownership of me, but then once the front end mishap happened, that cracked. Turns out it was an old crack that had been repaired, and you would not have believed the amount of shit that they just stuffed under there. They just really jammed it full of honestly, it was like 1.5 inches thick of body filler right there. I'd never fucking noticed it. I'd never been up underneath the car right there in 25 years. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. So we're gonna put in a lot of work today. We're probably not going to get into doing any body filler work. I want to get the headlights removed from this thing and get the front bumper off so I can start moving this fiberglass. And really, honestly, man, this is doing these crack repairs like this with this thing on the ground. That is not ideal, gang, because, you know, we don't know if we're reforming the fiberglass in the right position. You could have something, you know, if I had something 1/16 of an inch out, you get all the way back there, it could be 3/4 of an inch out. You know what I'm saying? Just the alignment. But I'm pretty confident that we laid everything out pretty good. And there's no moving this front end. This was almost like there's a crack right there that was, I'm guessing, maybe it's not related to that, but you know, this crack goes up here like that, and that one came all the way here, and this may even come over here. I'm not sure yet. I'm still looking. But you know, could you imagine if that whole thing broke off? I mean, you know, yeah, that's fixable, but god dang. So I don't want to move this thing any more than I have to until it's strong. And you know, it's not going to be strong until we get the new brace put across. This piece of the cowling right here, this whole strip here actually is attached. It's part of the front end, but it was broke off. So I didn't bother separating it from the body. But so we're doing body work, you know, in doing fiberglass body work. You know, probably going to need to get another sheet of this stuff. But doing fiberglass body work is a lot different than doing steel car body work. And exacerbating that situation is the fact that there is not shit for a flat surface on the body of this car. This car moves in so many different directions on these body lines. Look at these body lines on this thing. I mean, this thing is round everywhere. The only place it's flat is right here. And even this, honestly, this isn't truly flat. This has a crown to it. But these cars, there is so much shape in these things. It is really, really hard. You know, you gotta be really creative and really careful with how you're sanding what. Otherwise, you can, you know, create a lot of flat spots. And this car, the body lines on this car, when it had previously been repainted, were not respected, meaning the body lines here on the fender lip and this edge right here, this body line that carries down into the door, and then it is recreated right here in the front fender. Those, somebody laid sandpaper on top of that and sanded those down. These are really sharp points. And I don't mean sharp like a knife, but they're a much more highly defined edge than what you can see. They have been dulled and rounded over, especially these fender lines here. These are supposed to be really crisp and really sharp, and they're not. And I'm probably not going to worry about, you know, what it would take to recreate those lines. I'm looking to get this thing in paint. It is end of September right now. I am hoping I can get enough time on this thing to have it paint ready or very, very near paint ready by the end of October. I was going to take a week's vacation in October from work, and that's not going to happen. All of my employees all have conflicting, you know, interests and stuff like that, so I'm just not able to take a week off in October. So that may, when I can take a week off and just sit here and work on this thing, and the kids are at school and don't have any interruptions, I get a lot done. Well, at least I did on the Chevelle. So, but I won't have that option to do that in October. I might be able to pull it off in November. Goal is to get this thing sprayed, have it repainted, and let the paint, what I'll do is I'll crank up the heat in the garage. I'll keep it 80 degrees in here for a month in the fall and in the winter to let the paint cure, and then to get the Chevelle sprayed in high build before Christmas, which the Chevelle is basically ready for high build. I've got to get the body on the frame to do it, and I'm stalled on that because of this. So that's the goal. I don't really see it happening, but realistically, if I can get this car in color and get the color buffed before spring, then I'll be happy. So, and that'll allow me to, you know, race and drive the car and get back on the Chevelle. So anyway, gang, that is the Vel and the Vet update. Yeah, I got chickens running all around right here. So anyway, got to get back to it. Thanks, gang.